welcome to Kennywood Park in the 2015 MSA Sports Kennywood Park Preseason Football All-Star Award Show. Is there anybody in the house? 5 people. 5 people and 1 arrow. Anybody in the house? On Friday, September 4th. My name is Don Rebel. I welcome each and every one of you guys joining us here to help on the show. Mike Azadian, Sean Meyers, Josh Rowntree. They'll be asking the difficult questions. Kenny the Kangaroo has it easy. He just hands out the arrows. The arrows and the arrow itself, the yellow Kennywood arrow. Parker the Arrow is here as well, just to add to the fun and frivolity of it all. All right, we're going to start, and we will recognize first the offensive players. And, to have an offense that's going to do anything, you need a good quarterback, right? To have an offense that's going to do anything, you need a good quarterback, right? We welcome Jimmy Pierce from Laurel Highlands High School. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
First of all, let's talk about 2014. You guys had one of the biggest turnarounds in Class AAA. You struggled mightily in 2013. We're going to talk about that. But last year, a banner year, and you guys were able to make the playoffs. Talk about the turnaround.
Yeah, after getting back 1-9 back-to-back seasons, we were able to go 4-6, make the playoffs, and we were able to proved that we could, move the ball against those top teams like TJ, Central Valley, and we look to continue to success this season.
What have you done now? Because it's one thing to have that breakout season. It's another thing to build off that. A lot of people are going to be expecting Laurel Highlands to be a tougher game than maybe they were going into your game a year ago. So what have you done personally, and what do you think the team has done to prepare for bigger and better things?
All offseason, everyone's been working hard. We always stay in throw after, working the offense all the time.
What have you done personally? Anything?
I've been working out all the time. Go work out with the football team and work out after practice. Throwing all the time.
Now, you play any other sports at Laurel Highlands?
I wrestle also.
Ah. Yeah. So usually the wrestlers, aren't they the offensive linemen or the defensive linemen?
It should be. Yeah.
Not the case?
There's a couple.
How does a wrestler become a quarterback? A strong-arm quarterback, I assume.
Yeah.
All right. We got, let me see, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3 black and gold jerseys from Thomas Jefferson. Now, these guys are foaming at the mouth watching you up here talk. You want to trade any barbs with them before your game, or do you want to sort of lay low and wish them well?
I'll just lay low and wish them well.
Smart move. Smart move. Congratulations. Best of luck to you and the Mustangs in 2015.
Thank you.
Big hand for Jimmy Pierce of Laurel Highlands. Get out of the way here. Got to get your picture taken. I don't know where's the camera? Over here? This ran so smoothly in dress rehearsal. I'm not sure what's going on. Thank you, Jimmy. Now let's turn to our running backs. Our first running back from the two-time defending AAA or AA champions, should be AAA, AA champion South Fayette Lions, Hunter Hayes.
All right, we're here with Hunter Hayes of the South Fayette Lions. Hunter, I just mentioned to you the last time that you and I talked, it was a little bit colder. We were standing on a football field in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That was a pretty good day for you. It's a lot warmer today, but going back to last season and the last 2 years, back-to-back state championships, what a run it has been for this South Fayette team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, can't really process it all right now. I mean, it's still kind of fresh. But, it's just kind of it's been an incredible ride, and, hoping to do it one more time.
Let's go back to that state championship game. Talked about it a little bit earlier. You guys had your backs pressed to the goal line. You're playing Dunmore. They were about to score, and you guys stopped them. You stopped them on the goal line. You turn around, one play, 95 yards. You take it to the house for the touchdown. Changed the complexity of that championship game. You guys were able to run with it after that and win a second straight title. Has that play sunk in at all, that you really turned that championship game around? You and your defense turned that championship game around?
It really hasn't, but I got to give all the credit to my linemen. I mean, they've made a huge hole for me on that play. Ryan Schmieder made a great kick out. It was just a great play. Still hasn't really sunk in yet, though.
Coming into this season, you guys, I'm sure you know you're going to be without a certain player that's been with you for a while, Brett Brumbaugh, moving on. What will this offense be like without him? You guys did a lot in the running game that a lot of people didn't really talk about the last couple of years. You guys had a very good running attack. You had a balanced offense. Brett got a lot of the headlines. Now you move on from that. What will this offense look like without him?
We'll see as we get into the camp season. We have 2 young quarterbacks who are going at it throughout the camp, but we got a lot of skillful receivers, and obviously with our full line coming back, we'll have a strong running game and hopefully a strong passing game too.
What have you done personally in this offseason? You're obviously going to get more of a workload, I would have to imagine, but what have you done preparing for this upcoming season?
I've just been working out, conditioning a lot with the team and obviously by myself, but also focusing on that leadership role, having a lot of the other seniors step up with me, so that's also been important.
The Lions will go for almost an unbelievable 3rd straight WPIL and state championship. Hunter Hayes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Joining Hunter at running back on our preseason all-star team from Beth Center High School, welcome Anthony Welsh.
Anthony, first off, congratulations. Great season in 2014. You had over 1,500 yards rushing. Talk about what you think maybe your greatest strength as a running back is. Are you a power guy? Do you have speed? Do you have moves? What do you think really allowed you to have that great campaign?
I would say power. I just try to hit the holes hard. Try to hit the holes, and then, if I have to, I'll break a couple tackles. It's probably my strength. Power.
You probably heard us talking about the Tri-County South and maybe the lack of playoff success, and that applies to your team as well. Is the goal this season for your team to not only to make the playoffs, but to finally get over that hump and to win a playoff game? And if so, how do you work towards accomplishing that goal?
Definitely our goal is to win a couple playoff games. We just got to keep working hard. Start passing. We're obviously going to pass a little bit more this year, and our quarterback, he's more experienced. He's looking good at quarterback throwing.
Now, anytime a running back has success, a lot of the success is because of the offensive line creating those holes, giving time and space, and you always hear running backs sanking their offensive line. Now, at the NFL level, they can go out and buy them watches or things of that nature. I don't think you probably have the money to do that at this point, but what do you do to reward that offensive line after they create a hole for you or have a big game and you know that they were a major part in that?
I just thank them and give them a pat on the back. I appreciate my line always blocking for me, and I give a lot of credit to them.
And hopefully they appreciate that pat on the back as much as a Rolex. Now, training camp time's coming up. The season's still about a month away. What is the best part and what's maybe the worst part preparing for the season on these very hot August days?
I would say the best part's just coming together as a team, just bonding, and worst part's probably waking up for the 5 a.m. practice, I'd say.
Well, congratulations on being honored. Thank you for joining us once again. Anthony Welsh from the Best Center Bulldogs.
I was with him. I was with him with the waking up part, yet alone when he said 5 a.m. Goodness gracious, my goodness, ouch! Just shows you the dedication these young men have toward their craft, and these guys that we're honoring today are very good at what they do. We in the modern era now of high school football, no longer 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Things have opened up. A lot of passing yards. We recognize that. That's why we have not 1, not 2, not 3. But we have a 4-receiver set in our offense. First receiver that we will honor is from Avella High School, Luke Lloyd.
Luke, congratulations on making this Kennywood team. How do you feel about that?
It's pretty cool. It's a little different. I didn't start my freshman or sophomore year, so my junior year felt pretty good.
Talk to us about Avella. It's a small school. You've had some success in the recent few years after a lot of down years. What's the outlook with your team? What's it like for your team to not only make the playoffs, but to try to show again this year?
We have a really young team. We've lost a lot of seniors this past year, but they seem like they're catching on pretty well, so we're looking pretty good.
Luke, you play wide receiver, tight end. Do you play any other sports?
I also play wrestling and baseball.
Wrestling and baseball. Talk to us about Avella and what it's like at that school. Talk to us about your memories so far. What's the favorite thing about coming from Avella?
It's a little school, so a lot of people don't expect a whole lot. We only graduated like last year with about 40 kids, so it's hard to find kids. But
talk to us about your teammates. Anybody that we may not be knowing anything about, but you know from being at practice how good of a kid he is. Who can we look at, besides yourself, of course, at Avella that's going to do some things this year?
Tyler Frazier, he's our other wide receiver. He's coming on pretty strong. He was only a couple yards behind me last year in receiving. So,
any game on the schedule that you and your teammates really look forward to? Who's your main rival?
Probably either Bentworth or Jefferson Morgan. We've contended with them pretty good. We beat Bentworth twice in a row, but then they beat us last year. So.
Last question for you, and probably the most important question. What's it going to feel like to get an arrow? Kenny, the Kangaroo.
It's going to feel pretty good.
Well, congratulations, Luke. Now it comes time for your arrow.
Thank you.
Luke Lloyd from Avella. Congratulations, Luke.
Our second receiver from Plum High School, we welcome Zach Nolan. What's up, Zach? How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. You're a big boy. You a receiver or tight end?
Tight end.
All right. You look more like a tight end. All right. You guys, we were talking to Jimmy from Laurel Highlands. They had the turnaround season, made the playoffs. You guys did the same thing. And it all really, you guys started raising eyebrows in week 1 with the big victory at Hempfield. Going into last season, were there legit expectations that you guys had something special going on?
Definitely big expectations. We had a good class moving up our junior class, senior class now. Our senior class last year was also really good, starting from 2 years ago. We had big expectations, and they were fulfilled week 1 and throughout the season.
You guys make the playoffs out of the Foothills Conference in Class Quad A, make it to the playoffs. That's usually where the turnaround seasons end. The Cinderellas then in round 1 go home in their pumpkin. But you guys were able to beat neighboring Penn Hills to advance to the quarterfinals. Talk about how you felt and how the team felt after beating the Indians.
What was great, moving into the different conference, how we played them last year, and then we switched over. We didn't play them in the regular season. It was good to see them again. We had a real simple game plan and executed well, and it was just a great victory. It felt great.
Because it's still a rivalry, even though you guys aren't in the same conference, Plum and Penn Hills.
Well, yeah, we're neighboring, so definitely a rivalry, so it felt really good to get that win.
So now do you guys change things up because you guys are no longer going to surprise people? People are going to expect some big things from the Mustangs this year. What's the mindset? Has it changed at all as you prepare for 2015?
I mean, it's still the same. We don't really let that last season get to us. We kind of moved on. we expect to win now, expect things a little differently. I guess our mindset changed a little bit, just expecting to win, but basically all the same stuff.
We had one of our guys on the panel here in the earlier show giving praise to Coach Matt Morgan, maybe Coach of the Year in 2014 with the job he did with you guys. What's Coach Morgan got going on that you like?
I mean, he's a great guy. He cares about all of us. He really does. I mean, has us working hard. Good offense, good defense. Everything's good with him.
Is there a goal? I mean, it's obviously to get back into the playoffs, maybe go further than just one victory.
Definitely playoff goal, state goal, WPO goal, everything. Everything's a goal every season.
Any extra emotion for you guys once McKeesport comes to town, having known that they beat you not once but twice last year?
Definitely a game circled on our calendar that we're looking forward to. I mean, we're looking forward to every game, but McKeesport knocked us out of the playoffs. Really gave us 2 tough games, so that'll be a good game to look forward to.
Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tight end, Zach Nolan of Plum. Also from Quad A's Foothills Conference, our next receiver from Penn-Trafford High School, Tim Vecchio.
All right, we're here with Tim Vecchio of the Penn-Trafford Warriors. 2 years in a row, you guys make it to the semifinals, and not to bring up bad memories, but you guys didn't get any farther than that. How much motivation was it 2 years ago to come back and have a great year last year, and then how are you using that motivation from that semifinal loss last year for this coming year?
We're always trying to get better each season, move on from what we did from the previous year. Our main goal is get to the Heinz Field and win a championship.
You guys have such great support in Penn-Trafford. A lot of people turn out for your games. I was there last year for the semifinal game, and the place was packed at Norwin there. Talk about what that community experience is like, being a part of the Penn-Trafford community, playing sports there, and seeing the support that you guys got throughout last season when you just kept on winning.
It's a great small town. It's exciting to see how everyone comes together, supports us every Friday night, and they're always there for us, cheering us on. It's real exciting.
Your coach, John Rowan, I mentioned earlier, has done one of the best coaching jobs in the last 5 years of anybody in the WPIL. Penn-Trafford was one of those teams that was struggling year after year. He's turned you guys into a legitimate championship contender. Talk about what he, and not only that, but his coaching staff that he's put together. What have they done to help you guys?
Him and his staff is doing a terrific job. They're working with us every day, getting us better, getting us ready. Not only making us better football player, but men in life. So he does a good job of that.
You guys lost a little bit in your backfield, but you and Brett LaFoon put up big numbers last year. You guys have to be anticipating this 2015 season and doing some even bigger and better things.
Yeah, we're both really excited. Working together during the summer, connecting and putting in a little more stuff and getting ready for the season.
Definitely look forward to seeing Penn-Trafford this year. Should be a great year again for the Warriors. Timmy Vecchio, wide receiver here at Kennywood. Congratulations.
Our fourth and final receiver on our preseason all-star team, and our second South Fayette Lion, Nick Ponigvar.
Nick Ponigvar, first off, congratulations not only on being named to the Kennywood all preseason team, but back-to-back WPAL and state championships. And in that WPAL championship at Heinz Field this past year, you had a big play that really turned momentum back in your favor. Aliquippa was starting to surge. You took a short pass and turned it into a long touchdown. Take me through that play, and that really had to be a dream come true, having what many would say is the difference-making play to win a championship.
We're sitting in the locker room at halftime, and Coach Rossi comes in and says, I need somebody to step up and make a play. And before that play, we muffed the kick return, and we had the ball on the 3-yard line, and it wasn't looking good from there. And they called a simple out pattern, which is my least favorite play in the playbook because it doesn't go for much. But I'm able to take this pass. It was 5 yards from Brett, and I motioned over, and I catch it, and I see the corner from Aliquippa coming in hard, and I give him a move outside and take it for 87 yards. but as I'm running, I'm losing breath. And then to hit that end zone, it felt so good because as a little kid, I always went to pit games and watch him play, and just I've always dreamed about scoring that touchdown, and I knew it was going to feel good, and I was just so relieved to get in that end zone finally.
And after that play, is that still your least favorite route?
Oh, no, I love when they called it in the rest of the state playoff games. I mean, because I knew it had the potential to be a big play for us.
Now, we already heard Hunter talk about your offense. It's going to be a lot different this year without Brumbaugh, but as a receiver, what do you think your role is going to be in this offense, and do you feel the need to maybe step up even more knowing that you're going to be breaking in a new quarterback?
Well, I'm just going to have to be able to break them in more and give them more confidence. I mean, I know that none of them are going to have the arm strength of Brett. They're not going to be able to hit me 50 yards downfield, but we're going to have to make it yard by yard because they're going to be worried coming into this season because neither of them has starting experience, and it's going to be hard to live up to the expectations. So I'm just going to go out there and do what's expected of me because I intended to get better from last year, and I worked this whole offseason to help them out, most importantly the team as well.
The goal still to win a WPAL and a state championship, even though you lost a lot of your main contributors from a year ago?
Oh, it's just more of a reload. We don't rebuild anymore, and we've proven that because it's just become a next guy up kind of mentality, and that's how we're going to continue to do it here.
You talked about when you were younger watching those pit games at Heinz Field. Do you have a favorite professional athlete, whether it be football or any other sport?
My favorite athlete by far would be Terrell Pryor. I mean, just coming from Jeanette, I mean, that guy could do whatever he wanted on the football field. He made it look like a playground, and now he's doing it in the NFL, and he's switching positions. I think he's going to be very successful.
So you like Terrell Pryor when he was a quarterback. You probably like him even more now that he's playing the same position you are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's exciting to watch. I've seen highlights from him at the Browns camp, and he's out here doing unreal things, but it's no surprise because he's a freak athlete.
Nick Ponigvar of the South Fayette Lions. Congratulations.
All right, these receivers, running backs, quarterbacks are nothing without the help of the big boys up front. Let's turn to our offensive line. First from Laurel Highlands High School, Dylan Groh.
Dylan, congratulations on getting the award. Talk to us about your team. Last year you guys made the playoffs. You've got a couple representatives on this team here. The quarterback was the first guy to go. Talk to us about your team and your team's goals this year.
We worked really hard, and we still are in the off season, and we practiced a couple times a week, lift all year. Last year was a pretty big year because the other couple years weren't so good. 1-9 both years, and all we beat was AG. So going to Central Valley was exciting for a while, and then I don't know. Our team's been working really hard, and just a lot of dedication on our team.
Being an offensive lineman, you get to pave the way for running backs. You get to block for pass protection. What do you like the best about being an offensive lineman?
That's a good question. I don't know. It feels good when we score, and then if we don't get recognized a lot, but that's all right because as long as we score, it's still helping the team, so that's good.
And you play defensive line as well?
Yeah, defensive end and defensive tackle.
Do you like to hit people and make the tackle, or do you like to score? What do you like best? Be honest.
I'd rather block for my quarterback and my running back.
But it does feel good when you get a sack and you pancake somebody, or you get a big goal line stand. That has to feel good as well.
Yeah, if I can catch them, it's usually good.
Oh, you're honest. That's good. Talk to us about after this year. Any future plans in college? What do you plan to do after you leave Laurel Highlands?
I don't know. Hopefully some offers come for either football or wrestling. Probably take it for wrestling over football. But I don't know. Just see what comes.
Is wrestling your second favorite sport besides football? And do you play any other sports?
I just wrestle, and it's pretty close.
All right, there you hear it from Dylan Groh, offensive lineman from Laurel Highlands. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Our second offensive lineman, our third South Fayette Lion, Nick Dabrowski. Congrats, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, firm handshake. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
The Dabrowski fan club was here earlier. They were here before I got here. You guys had like 3 tables. So what time did you get here? About 6, 7 a.m.?
They got here earlier than me. They got here around opening. We got here around 12:30.
When does this place open, by the way? Give us, for those who want to come and spend all day here at Kennywood, do some PR for the park. What time does it open?
Around like 10:30, 11.
Around like 10:30 or 11. All right, that's good. Let's talk some football. Does it bother you or any of your teammates that when you hear, well, Brett Brumbaugh's gone, so go the South Fayette Lions? Everyone says, oh, now the Lions are coming back to earth. Still a lot of talent left with the green and white, right?
Yeah, it kind of bothers me because there's a lot of other pieces other than Brett that made this year successful. And whenever Brett had trouble in the last few games of the season, we were able to turn to the run game and run for over 700 yards in 3 games.
And the thing that we talked about, and we've talked about really the last couple years, is that while, Brett was phenomenal, the running game, you guys on the line, the defense, I mean, there are a lot of parts to what make a championship team.
Yeah, I think that our whole team has to come together. It's important that we all play as one because we're not the biggest team, we're not the fastest team, but as long as we play our style of football and play as a unit, we can't be beat.
Let's talk about Coach Rossi. Now, I know Coach Rossi's a bit of a knucklehead, but I can say that. You can't say that because that'll cost you some serious wind sprints or something. But just talk a little bit about what his attitude and what how his coaching style has really helped turn this program around.
He expects perfection. He expects the best out of every player. He gets you to perform to the best of your ability, and he will force you to do whatever you have to do to become the best player you can be.
Somebody told me once that South Fayette is, the offensive scheme is pretty simple. You guys just run 3 plays over and over and over again. Is it that simple?
A lot of what we do is simple plays with advanced take on it. A lot of our passing game is a lot of very basic crossing routes, but we make it so defense have trouble following.
You guys went to Hershey, one of 4 teams to go to Hershey from the WPL last year, the only one to come back with gold. There's always that great debate around here. What's more important, winning a WPL championship at Heinz Field or winning a state championship at Hershey Park Stadium? What's your take?
I'd have to say that playing at Heinz Field is the better experience, but winning at Hershey Park was my favorite because that you ended the season without a loss. You can go out on a high note.
And as far as going back now, new season, Century Conference, you guys have some pretty good rivals, Seton LaSalle, Steel Valley right up the hill from where we are, South Park now. Is there anyone that you guys consider your biggest rival?
I'd have to say that our biggest rival would either be Seton LaSalle or KO. They usually give us a challenge every year, but we've been able to overcome them in the past, but we always have to reload and be ready for them.
And by challenge, you mean they keep the score within 30 or 35 points?
Around there.
Yeah, Mercy Roll doesn't kick into the 4th quarter.
Oh.
All right, Nick, appreciate it. Congratulations. Good luck in 2015.
Thank you.
Nick Dabrowski. Get out of the way here. Our next offensive lineman from Franklin Regional High School, Sean Beadle.
All right, we're here with Sean Beadle of Franklin Regional. Sean, you recently committed to Ohio University. You're going to be a Bobcat. Talk about that decision. What went into deciding to head to OU?
Well, my decision to OU was kind of just, I really like the school. I like the program. I decided to commit because it took a lot of weight off my shoulders because, like the whole college and then having to think about also your next season. Now I won't have to do both. I'll just have to think about the upcoming season.
You guys have had a lot of talent come through Franklin Regional over the last few years, a very successful program. It's been a few years since you guys have gotten to Heinz Field, have played for a championship, but this year in AAA, it seems pretty wide open. Seems like it could be anybody's race here. What do you guys think that you have coming back this year from last year's teams that could help you get to Heinz Field?
Well, for starters, we have our entire offensive line coming back. We have our starting quarterback coming back. The only thing that we really don't have, which can be a little bit of a struggle, is our wide receivers. We lost all 5. We lost 5 real good starting wide receivers. So that's going to be a little bit of an impact, but we've gone past that milestone a little bit. We have a couple good guys in the tank, so it should be good.
You guys had a heck of a player last year in Brett Zanotto. Brett, of course, graduating, leaving. He was injured for a decent portion of the season last year. You guys had to fill in. How do you think you guys acclimated to that with him being out of the lineup, him not being able to necessarily play both ways all the time? Maybe some younger guys stepping up who now are going to, fill in that role full time.
Well, Brett was a big piece of what we had, but he wasn't the whole team. Like, he could be replaced by somebody else, even though he was better than a lot of our other linebackers and running backs. He could be replaced by somebody else that was younger that was almost as good as he was.
Well, Sean, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you at Franklin Regional. Congratulations in the future at Ohio.
Next offensive lineman from Thomas Jefferson High School, Dylan Vasari.
Dylan, congratulations on making the team. Now, I talked to you just a few moments ago.
I would have to say pancaking somebody, knowing that you did your job better than theirs. And just being an offensive lineman really is, I like it better than any skill position.
Now, when you're watching a college football game or an NFL game, do you notice that you pay attention more to the offensive and defensive line play than you do maybe the skill positions? Do you have a different eye than a typical fan would watching a game?
I actually do, because I see if I could, if I'm having trouble with my right step, if I could, fix it watching them, or I don't usually watch where the ball's going. I always watch the offensive line.
As an offensive lineman, you're going against a really good defensive end or defensive tackle. What is the most difficult move for you to defend? Is it a swim move? Is it just straight bull rush? What really gives you the most difficulty, without giving away too many secrets to some future opponents?
Possibly the swim move. That might get me a couple times.
And your team is awfully good year in and year out. I'm sure the expectations are once again pretty high at Thomas Jefferson. What are the team goals for 2015?
Well, the team goals are always to win conference, and then WPIALs, and then states every year.
That's Dylan Vasari, Thomas Jefferson, offensive lineman. Congratulations.
Our final potential pancaker on the offensive line from Plum High School, Eric Trends.
Congratulations, Eric. Thank you. Eric, congratulations. Joining a teammate has to feel good to bring a fellow offensive lineman up here for this award.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's nice to know that you have a team full of good players, and we have a team full. We don't have any great superstars. We're not going to have anyone that's on rivals or anything like that, but we're just tough working team.
Talk to us about Plum. Why will Plum win again this year? Winless the year before, you guys came out with one of the success stories, one of the fun stories of the year. Why will you guys win again this year?
We just pride ourselves on trying to work harder than any other team. We have a great group of coaches. They all have played football at a very high level and understand what it takes, and are really demanding on us, and it just helps us all out.
How did it feel last year once you guys had some success, knowing going into games that you guys were going to come team, obviously with two of you guys here? Is that one of the things you think line play will carry your team this year?
Yeah, I believe so. We have pretty good portion of our line coming back, and we have some guys that seem like they'll be good to step up, and we should be pretty good this year again.
Well, let's talk about you. Do you play any other sports besides football?
No, I do not.
Dedicated to just football. You play both offensive and defensive line?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations on the award, Eric Trentz from Plum, offensive and defensive lineman.
Thank you.
Rounding out the offense is our kicker. You need a reliable kicker, right? That's Sean Sweesum in town. Our team, our preseason team, has Levi Jordan from Bentworth High School.
Congratulations. So Levi, as the kicker here, things are maybe a little bit different than some of the other position players. Talk about what you do during a typical practice. I know you said you're getting some work in at wide receiver, but as the kicker, what do you do during a practice? Do you find yourself mostly just practicing by yourself, or do you interact a lot with your teammates?
I mostly practice by myself. I do a lot of accuracy drills, a lot of long distance, smooth strokes, stuff like that.
Now, not surprising, as a kicker, you also have a soccer background. You said you're a soccer player. Talk about that and when you decided to get into kicking and to apply that soccer skill.
Well, soccer, I've been playing for like 10 years, 8 years, and my eighth grade, my parents were like, you should try kicking. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll go try it. And I went up to train, to practice with them, and my coach, Coach Scowls, he was like, yeah, I want you on my team.
Now, I'm sure a lot of kickers maybe exaggerate a little bit in terms of their best field goal distance, but what's the longest field goal you've kicked in a game, and have you been able to top that and go even a little bit further in practice?
My furthest in a game was 32 yards. My furthest at practice was 45.
And do you think that's something that you're going to continue to increase that distance? And what do you think ultimately would be a realistic goal here for this season in terms of the longest that you'd be able to kick?
Yeah, I want to get it past the 65-yard mark by my end of sophomore or senior year, and my goal this year is to get it out of the end zone.
All right, sounds good. Levi Jordan, the Bentworth Bearcats, congratulations.
So that is our offensive team. Before we start on the defensive team, I guess we're going to switch and remind everyone, once you get your arrows, don't leave. We'll do a big, massive photo op as soon as the show is over. All right, let's start with the defensive line from Washington High School, Thomas Cherry.
All right, we're here with Thomas Cherry of Wash High. Thomas, last year you guys had a fantastic season, scored 42 points a game on the offensive side of the ball. You also had a great year on the defensive side. Run stopping was a big part of that, and it has to be in high school football. As a defensive lineman and defensive tackle, how have you been a part of that over the last couple of years as far as stopping that run game?
Listening to the coach, firing off the ball, and just doing what I'm supposed to do on the field.
You play offensive line and defensive line, correct?
Not last year, but I did play offense before.
Okay. So what do you like better? Do you like – he didn't even let me finish the question. What'd you say?
Defense.
And why do you like defense better?
Because you get to hit constantly.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be your answer because you get to hit. You guys have had some really great rushing attacks over the last few years at Wash High, whether it's Shy McKenzie a couple years ago, Malik Wells, and you can go down the list. You guys have had some really talented guys in your backfield. But the line play, I think, is maybe one of the things that has been your biggest strength over the last few years. How much emphasis is put in practice on that line play?
You mean on defense or off?
Either side of the line.
Oh, coach just wants us to fire off the ball, and that's all we have to do. Just fire off the ball, punch our key.
You guys have a pretty good conference. Mount Pleasant's probably going to be a little bit better this year. They don't have as many injuries as they've had. You guys were able to kind of run away with it last year and finish off a pretty good season with a tough loss in the semifinals. But what do you think you guys need to do this year to get over that hump and maybe make it to Heinz Field?
Practice harder. I don't know. You just got to practice hard. You got to practice how you play.
That's exactly right. Thomas Cherry, congratulations. Washington High represented. Congrats, man.
All right, next up, our only absentee player. He was hoping to make it, could not. Charlie Mason of Franklin Regional on our defensive line. He's not here, but how about a hand anyway for Charlie Mason? Our next member of the defensive line from Freeport High School, Logan Timmons.
Congratulations, Logan.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about your conference, Freeport. You told me off, Mike, that Highlands was one of your biggest rivals, but you guys lose some other rivals in Fort City and Katanning. It's going to be a little bit different in the conference this year without those teams. How do you and your teammates feel about the changes?
It's definitely exciting. You know, we got to see our past teams for a few years now, but to have new guys coming in and just have a new conference pretty much completely is real exciting.
Freeport, in the last handful of years, has been known for volleyball. We've covered some championship teams there. What's it about your team this year that you guys think that you can not only have a winning season, not only make the playoffs, but challenge for a conference title?
Well, we just have so many guys coming back, a lot of skill positions coming back that have been starting for a few years now. And all the guys are just tremendous athletes and very hard workers. So to see that talent coming back is very exciting for our coaches.
Tell us a little bit about Freeport. A lot of people don't know about Freeport, but what's it been like growing up in the Freeport area and going to school in that district?
Well, it's small, that's for sure, but I mean, it's like a family atmosphere. Everyone knows everyone. We're all pretty close as a unit, and that definitely carries over on the field, you know, just having that connection and having the chemistry we have on the field.
Now, as a senior, as we talk about yourself now, you are planning on going to West Virginia. You made that decision your sophomore year. Talk to us about what led to that decision.
It was honestly a very easy decision for me. The coaching staff is unbelievable, and just like I said about Freeport, having that closeness, that family feel, I really think that carries over to West Virginia, and just the confidence I have with them and feeling like I belong, a part of a family, not just a system, is something that really played into my commitment.
Now, is it tough on you knowing you're going to be going there, but still concentrating on trying to make your high school team better? You don't want to leave your high school team yet, but you also want to be thinking about the future. You got a lot on your mind, but how do you concentrate on having a successful senior season?
It's easy, honestly. I know that I'm here for Freeport. I didn't graduate yet, so I'm here for my team. I'm here to work with them and see how many wins we can get, try to get a playoff win this year. But, yeah, my mind's definitely with Freeport still. My commitment is definitely to the coaches at Freeport right now and just working for them.
Last question. What's your favorite Kennywood ride?
Phantom's Revenge, probably.
Wow, see, there it is. A plug for Kennywood. Thank you, Logan Timmons. Congratulations.
Final defensive lineman on our preseason all-star team from the new Armstrong High School, Jacob Robb. Jacob, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at this. New jersey, huh?
Brand new.
All right, now you got to tell me, what's the home jersey going to look like, blue or orange?
Blue.
Huh.
Yes.
See, I probably would have went with orange.
I like blue.
Do you have any vote on that?
I like blue. Blue's my favorite color. So.
Well, you were wearing red from Katanning merging with Ford City. Now, we talked about the success that Central Valley had when Center merged with Monaca High School, but those were two schools from different classifications. We got a merger here of two rivals from Class AA. How has that gone so far?
If you would have asked me at the beginning of summer, I would have said we aren't going to do good. But now, when practice has started, we're doing very well.
Coach Fabian is coaching the team. Has he done anything as far as going above and beyond to try to get team unity? I know one of the players said, practice, one of the good things about preseason practice is bonding. That would be more important, I think, for you guys.
Yeah, we always have like a team meeting before, and the first couple team meetings we just got together and talked and just got to know each other.
Has there been talk about look what Central Valley did in their first year when they won a WPL championship?
Not really.
Are you going to start that talk?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So what do you think is the biggest obstacle in getting Wildcats and Sabres to play together?
I just think we need to get close, as like a family close, and if we do that, we'll have a good season.
You think the talent, you guys, Katanning, have had some back-to-back pretty good years. Do you think the talent level, you guys are ready to step it up to AAA?
Yes, I think we are.
Is there a team in the Greater Allegheny Conference that you look at the schedule? That, by the way, is the deepest conference, I believe, in AAA. But is there one team that you could say that's an instant rivalry?
No, we're far away from everybody, so it's different.
Long road trips. Do you play like a harmonica or something you could do on the bus? Or?
Definitely, we will.
Oh, do you play one?
No, I don't.
You'll learn.
Yep, I'll try to.
All right, congratulations. Good luck. There's a lot of people interested to see how you guys do.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. Interesting situation. Jacob Robb, former Katanning Wildcat, now the Armstrong Riverhawks, the newest high school in the WPIAL. Turn our attention now to the linebackers. First linebacker up from Thomas Jefferson High School, Brandon Pahanish.
All right, here with Braden Pahanish of Thomas Jefferson. We've already heard a little bit about the Jaguars so far. I want to ask you about your coach, Bill Chirpak. Chirp has been around a long time. There's not a lot of things that he hasn't seen as a coach. A great coaching tree that he comes from, and he's launched a lot of great coaching careers. What's it like playing for a guy in Bill Chirpak that you know that he's going to be a great leader for you guys and he's going to coach you the right way?
Well, he's definitely a very good coach. He makes us push ourselves to like the most we could go, and that always helps. And he always surrounds us with the best coaches he's been working with all his life.
I think it's interesting to ask people, if you could summarize a team in one word, how would you summarize Thomas Jefferson?
Probably tradition.
Tradition. See, I would have picked physical, but tradition is a good one as well. You guys have had such a physical presence. Every time you go on the field, you know you're in for a dogfight with Thomas Jefferson. 2 years ago, you had Chase Winovich. He went on to Michigan. Austin Kemp filled in last year. Austin's gone, and now it's going to open up in that backfield again. Is that a role that you're going to step in on the offensive side before we talk about, of course, what you do on defense?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, we have a lot of depth in our running backs like last year. A lot of kids could step up, but we're definitely going to pass a lot more this year. Our wide receivers are really stepping up.
Well, not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side, too. You get to play that middle linebacker role. You get to call the defense. You get to be a guy that's going to play in pass coverage, stop the run as well. That has to be a great freedom for you to play in the center of that defense and to call the shots there for your team defensively.
It is. It's a great feeling to be the leader on that side of the ball. I mean, obviously I like defense the most, so it's an exciting position.
You guys had such a great year last year until you lost in the semifinals to West Allegheny. It was a tough loss for you guys. Is that a game that you shake off, you don't think about, or is that a game that you think of and you carry it over to this year?
Yeah, I mean, all summer we to push ourselves, we think of that game, obviously, but you know, we still don't try to think about it. But it was a real tough loss.
Braden, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in the Jaguars this season here in 2015. Braden Pahanish of Thomas Jefferson. Congrats, man.
Our next linebacker, another fella from the AK Valley, from Highlands High School, Braden Timmons.
Braden Timmons, he is a linebacker for Highlands. He's also a quarterback, and anytime I hear quarterback/linebacker, I always wonder, do you play quarterback with the same sort of physicality as you do as linebacker? Are you a guy that likes to lower your head and bowl over defenders when you're running the football?
Of course. That's a big thing that I have compared to other quarterbacks. A lot of the other quarterbacks, they try and avoid people. When I run, I try and go through people.
And I was reading that you battled through some injuries, I believe, in a postseason game to stay in there and to continue playing quarterback. Do you take that toughness of a linebacker and apply that mentality to quarterback? And how do you think that maybe helps you be a leader for your team?
I think it's just a big part to be that leader on the team. The toughness it's not really a thing to be a leader, but it's just something I have that I'm glad I do have.
Now, your team had great success in 2014 playing in a new classification. How do you duplicate and even improve on that here in 2015, knowing that there's going to be high expectations in Highlands?
Now, it's going to be hard whenever we lose our starting running back, Elijah Jackson, but I feel like our team has been putting in a lot of work in the summer, running all the time, lifting every day. I feel like we should be all right.
Now, your team had a really nice run on the hardwood as well. You're a starter for that basketball team. Talk about the transition once the football season ends. How difficult is it to get into that basketball mindset? And I'm sure it's a different type of conditioning to be a basketball player. Talk about that.
I mean, it's different from running only the floor of the basketball court to running back and forth plays every single time on both sides of the ball for football.
And Timmons is now a pretty good name in the AK Valley. You are the cousin of Logan, who was just honored here. You guys have played against each other. Talk about that. I'm sure that's been back and forth since you guys were growing up. But how fun was it playing against your cousin on the football field?
It's a great thing to have, like the family rivalry. It's great to be cousins with a great athlete like that, someone who's committed to WU. It's a great thing to play Freeport. I'm glad that we do.
All right, congratulations, Braden Timmons of Highlands, just a junior being honored as a linebacker.
Next linebacker from Jeanette High School, Giovanni Sanders.
Giovanni, congratulations on making the team. Talk to us about Jeanette. A high-scoring offense, a lot of points, always competitive, not only in football but basketball. A lot of tradition at Jeanette. You're a junior. You're in the profile now. You're one of the leading players on the team. What's it like for you and your teammates to continue that tradition of Jeanette?
It's a great opportunity to carry the tradition, and we just got to step up and make it happen.
Talk about yourself now. You're linebacker and the quarterback, you told me. That's a lot of responsibility on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it is, and I like to take on that role.
If you had to pick just one, if you had to be just one of those two, what would it be?
Quarterback.
Quarterback's the position. You got voted on as linebacker, though. What's it like to hit people, to stop people at the goal line, to make the big play?
It's awesome, and I like it a lot.
In your conference, you've got Clairton. We've heard everybody talk about Clairton and how good they are. Everybody thinks they're going to repeat. Do you like that maybe yourself and your teammates will go under the radar a little bit?
Yeah, I like it. It's a great opportunity for us, and we like the competition, and we'll be ready for it.
Your biggest rival, and everybody's known this for a lot of years, and it might be one of the biggest rivals in a WPL, it's Jeanette and Greensboro Central Catholic. How do you feel about them, playing against them? And your teammates look forward to playing them every single year? That's got to be the game you circle on a schedule.
Yeah, it always is, and we go hard against them every year, and we can't wait for it.
Well, we talked about you. Let's talk about your teammates. Anybody under the radar, maybe that didn't make the team that you thought, well, how come they're not here? Is there anybody you think we should be looking out for from Jeanette besides yourself this year?
Yeah, we got a great line, and we also got a good running back, too. Kareem Hall.
What's his name?
Kareem Hall.
Okay, last thing. What's your, so far, best memory playing Jeanette football?
Probably my first touchdown last year. It was a pick six, and it felt awesome.
All right, thank you. Giovanni Sanders, linebacker and quarterback from Jeanette. Congratulations.
Final linebacker on our preseason team from Norwin High School, Nick Amendola. What's up, Nick? How are you? Remember last time we talked, Nick?
Yeah, semifinals in a playoff game.
He has a good memory. Quite a baseball player, Nick Amendola. We're talking football here. You know, we were talking in a previous show about, Plum surprising some people and making the playoffs out of the Foothills Conference. Didn't mention Norwin. You guys also have struggled in recent years, but were able to make the playoffs in 2014. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, last year we had a better season than years past. We had a lot of good seniors leading us, and this year it's about the same.
Higher expectations this year?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Now, you guys are in that Foothills Conference. You have Hempfield right here. You have Latrobe right here, right down the road from you guys, down Route 30. But Norwin, always the big rivalry has been Penn-Trafford. Still the same?
Yeah, they're still a big rival in pretty much every game. Since everybody's so close to us, it's a big rival to us.
Now, as linebacker, you like delivering the big hits, I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, but what player in the Foothills Conference is the toughest to deliver that big hit to? Is there one player that you have been left scrambling and whiffing in an attempt to bring him down and pancake him?
Probably stud Khalid Cutson. He's an animal, so he's tough to bring down.
Yeah, and he's back too.
Yeah.
So you guys, building on the success that you guys had last year, is it a different mentality because you're not going to surprise anybody now with the winning season in 2014?
Well, our mentality was always to win. So this year we're doing the same thing. Want to know every game. So.
Future plans. So again, you're obviously very talented at football, very talented baseball player. What do you want to do down the road?
Hopefully I could get something for football, something down the line.
Rather play football than baseball?
Yeah.
Our good friend Lanny Fratteri is here somewhere. Where is Lanny? Where is Lanny? Oh, I built him up and he's not here. That's right. Forget it. Stick with football. All right. Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Good luck. Nick Amendola of Norwood. Our final linebacker on our preseason all-star team. Let's switch to the defensive backs. Our first defensive back actually had to leave early, got his arrow, and he hoofed it. Dwayne Brown of Apollo Ridge. How about a hand for Dwayne Brown? Another very talented player on both offense and defense, as most of these defensive backs are. Next up from Washington High School, Jordan West.
Jordan, congratulations. And as Don just mentioned, it seems like some of the best players and best athletes in WPL are playing defensive back. How much of an honor is it for you to be named to this Kennywood preseason team, not only this year, but a repeat because you made the team last year as well?
It's a huge accomplishment. Like you said, the best athletes and everyone are defensive backs, and that just proves that I'm up there with the top defensive backs in the WPL.
And there are so many great ones, and probably many that you play against in your conference and in Class AA. How often do you find yourself comparing yourself to those other players? Is that something you try to see how you stack up, whether it be going against a great receiver or just seeing a defensive back on another team operate?
Just seeing another defensive back on a different team make a big play or something, that just motivates me to go out and want to make another big play, or seeing a big wide receiver that's out there making catches and wanting to lock him down and stop him.
Now, Washington had a really good season last year. You ultimately fell in the semifinals to Aliquippa in a very competitive game. Do you feel your team has what it takes to get back to that level and beyond? Do you think you can go to Heinz Field this season?
Absolutely, as long as we stay healthy. We went to that Aliquippa game. A few of us were banged up. I didn't play. I had a broken ankle. Our quarterback, Jonathan Spino, with his shoulder messed up. But I think if we have a healthy team there, we win that game.
Now, this is your senior year coming up. What are your personal goals? You talked about your team success and what you're hoping to do, but individually, what do you have that you want to accomplish here in 2015?
I don't think about myself at all. I just think about the team, and I want to work with the team to get back to where we were last year and even farther.
The consummate team player, Jordan West, representing Wash High.
Our next defensive back, our third Thomas Jefferson Jaguar, Ryan Scanlon.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thomas Jefferson. We talk Thomas Jefferson, and we talk winning a conference title. We talk winning is synonymous with this program. Does it ever get old winning there at Thomas Jefferson?
No, not at all. It's always expected, and that's always the goal we have, just to win.
Talk to us about what it's like to play for Bill Cherpak. I mean, he's got the respect of not only coaches, media, players. You have to perform. You can't fool around if you're a football player for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, just knowing all the alumni and all the kids that finished, you know how hard he pushes you, and in the summer, you know how he is in the games. That's his mentality.
Earlier today, I don't know if you were here, we were talking about title contenders for AAA, and West Allegheny loses some people, Central Valley loses some people, and some people think that Thomas Jefferson may be a team that's going to be up in title contention again. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have all the aspects we need to get to the championship, maybe even farther than that.
Does it ever get old having a target on your back in your conference where everybody knows they have to beat you to win the conference title?
Yeah, I love that. I love having that target on our backs because we earn that. We earn that as tradition every year.
Now, Ryan, do you play any other sports besides football? Involved in anything else at TJ?
I do track and field.
What's your event in track and field?
I sprint the 100 meter.
Now, you're also, in addition to being on this team as a defensive back, you're also a running back for Thomas Jefferson. Both sides of the ball, what's more satisfying, getting that first down or a touchdown, or stopping a guy from scoring the big touchdown?
I got to go touchdown.
So you like the offensive side of the ball a little bit better?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about you a little bit off microphone. You told me that you haven't decided yet what school to go to. You're not positive yet what's in your future, but you do want to study pre-med. Talk to us about that decision, and that's going to be a lifetime thing long after football's over. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something I was always interested in, and I'd like to do after the rest of my life.
What would you like to do as far to be a doctor or anything specific you want to get into?
Probably a doctor, something with surgery.
Last question, and the last person we have not given any love to is Parker the Arrow. How do you feel about Parker the Arrow? Would you like to go over and give Parker a hug? I felt bad that nobody had talked about Parker the Arrow. Thanks a lot and congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Photos.
Parker the Arrow, getting some love. Now, if only somebody would give Mike Azadian a hug, our day would be complete. All right. Next up, and our final defensive back, Tyler Carswell from Montour. Tyler, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, you're getting ready for practice in a couple weeks. Starts the 17th, I believe, when you guys can officially start practicing. I don't want to know or don't care what guys are doing right now over the next 2 weeks. We don't want anyone getting into trouble, but what's your favorite part of the August practices?
Just getting the shoulder pads on. You really get the feel for football again. You really get ready for it.
So all this running and conditioning stuff really doesn't feel like football yet?
No, it feels like torture, honestly. But it gets you right. It gets you ready for the season.
Well, then what's the worst part? Maybe it's the running and conditioning that in the 2 weeks after the practices start on the 17th.
What's the worst part?
What's the worst part?
Probably Saturday mornings after you wake up really sore. That's probably the worst part, honestly.
Now, do you take one of those ice baths? Those you get in those? Do you ever get in those tubs that's filled with ice?
Oh yeah, soak after every game, 30 minutes.
Everyone does that?
No, just I do. I do.
Isn't that cold?
It's very cold, but get you ready.
Gracious. Goodness. All right. If it helps, okay. You will be playing quarterback at least to start the season for Montour. Talk a little bit about that situation and wearing the extra hat.
Yeah, well, our starting quarterback went down with a freak accident. But, so I'm transferring over to quarterback now. It's a different change. You get to really appreciate what quarterbacks do. It's not just handing the ball off. You have to go through all your reads, and it's different, but I like it.
So next time you come on a blindside blitz, are you going to feel bad and maybe pull up a little bit on that quarterback?
I won't pull up, but I wish the next guy would pull up on me.
Well, now, how difficult of a transition has that been? Have you played quarterback maybe as a youth?
Yeah, Little League, but it was different. All the faster kids would just pull the ball and run sideways. But at the high school level, it's different. Like I said, you have to go through all your reads and progressions, but it's a little easier from going from receiver because, I know all the routes and stuff. So, yeah, it's all right.
What's it like playing for Captain Lucero? He's one of our favorites at at MSA Sports. He's one of those characters of the game.
Oh yeah, it's very difficult. He demands excellence, and he makes sure he tells us that every day. Nothing but excellence.
Well, when he makes the bad call, the wrong play call, you remind him of that dedication to excellence, will you?
Oh no.
And tell him that Mr. Rebel says so, and he will honor that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. One last thing. I'm going to play word association with you. I'm going to say the name of two things, and you give me the first thing that pops to your mind. Keep it clean. It's a family show here. Okay. All right. Central Valley.
Enemy.
Enemy. All right, this will be interesting then. West Allegheny.
Ooh, that's all I can say. There's no words for them.
Ooh. Enemy and ooh for Central Valley and West Allegheny in the always wild and crazy Parkway Conference. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, one of the teams to watch, I think, this year, the Montour Spartans, Tyler Carswell, one of the members of our defensive team at defensive back. He'll also be playing quarterback for the Spartans. And our final member of the preseason All-Star team here for 2015 from Knock High School, the punter, Mac Christie.
All right, we're here with Mac Christie, the punter out of Knock. Mac, you're much more than a punter, though. You play on offense, defense, and special teams. But punting specifically, you were all conference last year. How much time do you put into punting when you're having to play multiple other positions on the field?
I try to equal out the time I put in between each position and just work.
Your dad, Jeff, was an assistant coach at Apollo Ridge for the last couple of years. Your dad is a Super Bowl champion, won a title in 2002 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now he's going to be coming over to your coaching staff, and, of course, he was an offensive lineman in the NFL. He's going to coach the offensive line for Knock. How big of an addition is your dad going to be to this Knock football team?
It will be a big addition. He'll be able to help out in places where some people don't like.
You know, before you weren't even able to have your dad in the stands really on Friday night for your football game. And now it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have your dad on the sidelines. Where do you cut football and family time and home time? And I'm sure the rest of your family doesn't want to hear about football 24/7. But where do you draw the line there?
There's definitely I can go to him for advice, like for football or anywhere, but we talk football all the time.
A lot of football talk, I'm sure. And lastly, you're going to see some time potentially at quarterback. You're in the mix. Tight end, wide receiver, probably on defense too. There's a lot of different things that you're going to be able to do for this Knock team. What do you want to do? What does Mac Christie want to do when he gets on the football field this year?
I'll play wherever. I like tight end. I like quarterback. It's wherever. I don't care.
One last question for you. We talked to Montour the last time that Knock made it to Heinz Field. They played Montour. One thing we have seen out of Knock over the years in a variety of sports is it's such a great fan base. The largest crowd we've seen maybe since Heinz Field started hosting the championships was from the Knock Knights when they made it a couple of years ago. It has to be great to play in a community with that support. We saw it with the baseball team this past spring winning a state championship, but it has to be just an awesome feeling going out there and playing for the Knock community.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone knows everyone, and our stands are packed on Friday nights, and I'm thankful to say that.
Should be a good year for the Knights, and Mac will be a part of the team that leads the way. So, Mac, congratulations. Mac Christie, our punter on the Kennywood All-Star team. Congrats.
All right, again, we are going to have a photo opportunity once we wrap things up here as far as our broadcast is concerned. We have one more special award that we want to give out on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And to do that, I welcome in my friend and colleague, Lanny Fratteri. How about a big hand?
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Don Rebel, and a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I hope that all of you that are avid fans of football in Western Pennsylvania know the commitment that's been put forth on behalf of the MSA Sports Network, and particularly this guy right here, Don Rebel. He deserves a great deal of credit for what he does for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania. I'm here today because I have a distinct honor. Over the last 8 years, Kennywood Park and the MSA Sports Network have been proud to recognize some of the finest high school football players in Western Pennsylvania as part of our tradition kickoff to the upcoming school year's activities. Beginning this year, we are pleased at MSA to be adding a new recognition to this annual tradition. It's called the Perseverance Award. Steady perseverance in a course of action, a purpose, a state, especially in spite of difficulties, obstacles, and discouragement. That's the way it's described and defined in the dictionary. As it relates to theology, a continuance in a state of grace to the end leading to eternal salvation. This year's inaugural recipient of the MSA Kennywood Perseverance Award represents the epitome of these statements in his roles as a brother, a community role model, a coach, a pastor, a husband, and as a father. You may know him as the voice of the Penn Hills Indians, but that voice has now grown to represent something much more than representing what happens on the football field on Friday night in Western Pennsylvania. His voice has shown those in his community and beyond how love, compassion, and strength can outrun and outlast life's greatest tragedies. Jay's youngest of 3 children, Trey, was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma cancer on Christmas Eve in 2010. And throughout the days, weeks, and months to follow, the Midlow family pressed on, celebrating all the good things in life. Amidst the grave situation that his son was in, Jay's faith remained strong and his passion continued as he helped others continue to grow. In fact, it became infectious with those around him. Jay's blog posts on his journey with his young warrior became viral, touching the lives of those both near and far. Pray for Trey was the mantra heard around town, and acts of kindness not only surrounded the family, but the community as a whole. Jay continued to coach both the boys and girls volleyball teams at Penn Hills, not only coaching them in volleyball, but showing them how by example, how adversity can be managed with grace and compassion. It was nearly 4 years from the date of their young warrior's original diagnosis to the day that he made his journey to his final home. And each step of the way, Jay and his family persevered with loving hearts and giving souls, continuing to live each day by serving others. For all of those reasons, it was a great pleasure that the MSA Sports Network is here to honor, Jay, your unwavering ability to show others the way by your example, by raising the bar and showing all of us how perseverance during life's greatest challenge can bring hope and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, our Perseverance Award for 2015 to Jay Midlow.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Lanny. And with that, we will wrap up the broadcast. Again, for all the players with their arrows, we'll be taking group pictures here in a moment. So if you guys want to head back up toward the stage, thanks to Jody, Chris, and Ted for their help behind the scenes. Mike Azadian, Josh Rowntree, Sean Meyers. I'm Don Rebel. Every day, check out our website, msasports.net, leading up to Countdown to Kickoff 2015 with Parker the Arrow and Kenny the Kangaroo. I'm Don Rebel. Thanks for joining us at Kennywood Park for the preseason All-Star team on the MSA Sports Network.